We tend to accept anxiety as an inevitable part of living in a stressful modern world, but does it really have to be? Welcome to Inc. Nutrition, where we focus on all things mind, body, and food. My name is Jack O'Connor, registered dietitian, your nutrition expert.
My name is Hannah. I am an outdoor educator, and I am here to help you translate the science of nutrition to help improve your life.
Yeah, and today we're starting a new series. It's all about how food affects our mood. And nutritional psychiatry is actually an emerging area within science that helps us understand how what we eat affects how we feel. And today we're going to be talking specifically about anxiety. It's the most common psychiatric disorder in the US, with about a third of the population suffering from at least one.
And while there are several strategies to help reduce and treat anxiety, only about half of people respond to medication and psychotherapy.
So, let food be thy medicine.
Wise words.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Socrates said. And even if we haven't been actually diagnosed, I think we can all relate to feeling anxious at some point in our life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how does anxiety show up in your life?
Oh, anxiety and I, we go way back. We're real good friends. When we're really tight, anxiety shows up to me as not being able to sleep or stay asleep, and it really affects my appetite. It makes me not hungry.
Yeah, those are extremely common effects from feeling stressed and anxious. So let's talk about first, what foods, what behaviors make us more anxious? What exacerbate, the anxiety? Well, we got to talk about the Western diet. Okay?
Western, ain't that for cowboys?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, we're really referring to the typical American way of eating, which includes, a lot of fast food, high sugary foods, excessive red meat. Having too much of these foods too often is absolutely associated with higher rates of anxiety. So what can we do? Well, when it comes to fast food, try your best to limit eating out to only a maximum of once a day. Less is, of course, better. And when it comes to sweet foods, I think one easy tip is to try to reduce your intake of beverages that have added sugars.
Great. And for red meat, just try to think of it as a side dish and not the main dish, even though my mother would think differently. Even though we can't fully avoid these foods, it's important to know how they affect us and our mood.
For sure. And next we got caffeine.
I know, coffee, we think it's our biggest lifeline, but it just might come at a cost.
It's true. Caffeine can definitely worsen symptoms of anxiety because it, sparks this region of the brain that recognizes threat.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, and you don't have to stop cold turkey, but I would, limit having it too late in the day, and also have a maximum of 100 milligrams per day.
That's about 1 cup of coffee a day, or 2 to 3 cups of tea. And trust me, decaf is actually a good option. It's not as bad as you think, and nobody will judge you.
Yeah, I will. No. Now let's talk about booze.
My what?
Alcohol.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. When you live a stressful life, it's pretty common to drink alcohol. And while it may relax you in the moment, too much can lead to quite a bit of anxiety, and it can cause sleep problems.
Which leads you to drink more coffee, which we talked about.
And it makes you feel uneasy and even causes feelings of guilt later, the day after. And those with social anxiety especially, alcohol can be pretty problematic.
Liquid courage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, before you whine about not having your alcohol, just know that we do think that you can have a healthy relationship with it.
It's true. Drinking responsibly on occasion is just fine. And the last of the bad are artificial sweeteners. Recent research shows that aspartame, or NutraSweet, and sucralose, also known as Splenda, actually increase the number of bad bacteria in our gut, which can have a negative impact on our mood and contribute to anxiety.
So just eat real food.
Keep it real.
If you're putting something in your body that is labeled artificial, just know you don't need that because you're sweet enough. So that's enough about the bad. Let's talk about the good and things we can do to help us feel better.
Sure. So we must first talk about the gut.
Can you stomach it?
Yes. Research has shown that gut health does influence symptoms of anxiety. Studies have actually tracked how changes in the microbiome affect our amygdala, which is the area of the brain that kind of goes haywire when we feel anxious. And furthermore, those who have generalized anxiety disorder have an imbalance of good and bad bacteria.
And one simple way to improve our gut health is to eat more fiber.
We love fiber. When we eat it, our bacteria digests it and produce these compounds called short-chain fatty acids.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what does that mean?
Pretty much they help improve our brain health.
Oh, that's important.
Mm-hmm. And an easy way to remember high fiber foods is through the 7 B's. Beans, brown rice, barley, berries, broccoli, baked potato with the skin on, and bran.
What? What in the hell is bran?
Bran. It's the outer portion of a grain. So like white rice does not have bran. They removed it. But brown rice and whole grains have it. So that's why they have so much more fiber and are healthier for you.
We like that bran.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else contributes to a healthy brain?
Tell me.
Fermented foods. You want to know why?
Tell me.
Because they have little live bacteria called probiotics, and they help reduce anxiety.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where can we find these fermented foods?
Let me tell you. Pickled vegetables, yogurt, kombucha, things like that.
Cool. Delicious. Next up, we got omega-3s. Now, a recent meta-analysis, including data from 19 clinical trials, over 2,200 subjects from 11 different countries,
Okay, it's credible. We get it.
concludes that there is an association with omega-3s and a reduction in anxiety symptoms.
Cool.
And really, the best sources of omega-3s are fish or fish oils.
Sounds fishy.
Yeah, yes. And if you don't eat fish on a regular basis, you may want to consider supplementing. 1 to 2 grams of fish oil per day is recommended.
Cool. Next up, we have tryptophan, which is the precursor to serotonin. And we all know serotonin as a hormone that makes us feel happy.
Yeah, we can actually get tryptophan from a lot of different foods. Your high protein foods like meat, fish, poultry, beans, and dairy products are going to be high, but also mushrooms and tart cherry juice are good sources.
Not that anyone's drinking tart cherry juice.
Hey, I love tart cherry juice.
Well, you have a different palate than me.
It's a good palate. And the last category that we're going to talk about are herbs. I'm going to highlight 3 different herbs that have been shown to reduce anxiety. First up is chamomile. Experiment with having chamomile tea every night and see how you feel. Next up, we have passion flower liquid extract, which you can get in a capsule form. I would recommend 90 milligrams per day. And lastly, we have ashwagandha, my favorite, which is an adaptogenic herb that has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety. 700 milligrams of root extract is what I recommend. And lastly, as a disclaimer, I just want you to keep in mind that the advice we have given you today is backed by science. However, we are not telling you that these recommendations will 100% eliminate your stress and anxiety. And you should consult with a psychiatrist for the best therapy when it comes to a diagnosed disorder. Thank you all so much for watching. I know we threw a lot of information at you today, but if you can just adopt maybe 1 or 2 of these tips, they may help.
Yeah, let us know what works or doesn't work for you. Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And like and subscribe for more content.
For sure.
Thanks. Until next time.
Research shows that gut health does gut health does influence our what? Research has shown
is fermented foods. They do something like they contain beneficial bacteria. You know what else contributes? Why can't I speak? Beneficial bacteria called probiotics.
Ooh, where can we find those?
Oh, let me tell you. Yogurt.
I guess I threw you off. I thought you were done.
Well, it's fine. I didn't know how to deal with it.